of you that have gas cylinders at home, please, this video is very important for you if you don't want something bad to happen to you. How many of you have seen those gas explosion videos on social media? Somehow you say, thank God it's not me. Who told you it can happen to you? Today we are going to be educating our viewers about gas safety. This gentleman has come all the way from Plateau State to come tell us about gas safety.
Imagine you just finished cooking and this thing is not switching off. So what will you do?
Bringing a phone close to the gas, is it bad?
It's not too safe to bring the stuff closer. Leakage is the first thing that causes gas explosion from cylinders. If you see your gas producing foam like this, it's obvious that there is a leakage from this valve. You know, normally gas doesn't smell on its natural state, the way it's produced.
But I do perceive gas.
No, that is an odorant added. Well, another way to detect gas leakage is through the smell. I remember a man came to refill gas and he told me he has been using his gas since 1985. I was not born then.
He's sitting on a time bomb. Mr. Linus, it seems you know so much about gas safety. Can you tell us about yourself? Who are you? And what do you do for a living?
My name is Linus Idoko-Ejembi. I'm a gas safety expert. I'm into the training, both online and offline, on every level of the business, whether retail aspect, the plant level.
You mean you do gas training for a living?
Yes.
What is the most common thing that causes gas explosion in Nigeria?
Well, the first thing is leakages. I get it. Leakage is the first thing that causes gas explosion from cylinders. Are you getting it? So if a leakage is not detected, it can easily lead to gas explosion.
So how do we detect gas leakage?
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to practically detect gas leakage if you use CAM. So this is a detergent, like any detergent in the house, and you just get like water you see here, then you add a little, detergent to it. That is all. So the first thing is to use this soapy water to spray it on the valve. We call this the valve.
So what are we doing now?
So we are trying to detect a leakage from a CAM cylinder. This is a CAM cylinder. And the first thing, we need to start checking it from the valve. By using the soapy water, you make sure you get it there, make sure you puncture just the cover. So this is it. You spread it around the valve. Now it is obvious, as you can see, the leakage here is producing foam. It's obvious that there is a leakage from this valve. If you see your gas producing a foam like this round the valve, that means your gas is leaking.
What if it's the soapy water?
Sir? No, it's not the soapy water. You understand? Now, let's use this as another example. Let's spray water around the valve and see. This is a 12.5 cylinder. Now, just check the difference here. You can't see any, bubbles coming out from any of the side. Yeah. Now take a look at this. Look at sound.
Yeah, it's still coming out.
It's still coming out. So
wow.
It's danger. So you need to be retight. You need to be worked on.
Okay.
You understand?
They have to fix it.
They have to fix it.
Okay.
So that is the first method of checking for your leakage if you have a CAM cylinder. Then if you have the 12.5, you do the same thing. You spread it around. You understand? Or on the top of the valve. This is okay. The gas can be leaking from the top of the valve or from the side of the valve. You understand? So this is okay. While the top of the valve is okay, but the side, as you can see, look at gas is seriously coming out.
Yeah.
You understand? So you need to be worked on.
So do you know the most surprising thing right now? I just bought this cylinder. This cylinder, I just bought it. It's new. So what this is even trying to tell us is that some of the cylinders we buy may not even be original, because why would something new be leaking?
That is a problem. You see, the problem is the first place that should check this is where you refill it. I think the fault is coming from there first. So the gas plant you refill it are supposed to detect this leakage before even giving you out. So when we are talking about safety, it starts from the gas plant where you refill. You understand?
So what he's trying to say is, if you go fill your gas, those gas people are supposed to check if the cylinder is leaking. If they find out that the cylinder is leaking, they are supposed to help you fix it.
Sure. This should be fixed in the gas plant.
But these days, we see a lot of people going into the business of starting out their gas refill business. But they are not so educated to know how to do these things. And because of that, their customers will suffer. So I just hope that those of you watching, where you go to refill your gas, they are educated enough to do all these checks for you. Do gas cylinders get expired?
Yes, they do get expired.
How do I confirm if my gas cylinder is expired or close to expiry?
There are cylinders that they will write the expiry date directly, but it is not specific. Like for instance, if a cylinder is written expiring date as 2025, for instance, and it was produced 2010, between 10 years it should expire. Making instance now. Now imagine that the usage of the cylinder starts in 2015. You should know that within that 5 years, the cylinder have not been used, so it's not necessarily expired. But the thing here is going to recheck it. Are you getting it? You will see on the cylinder it is written last tested. So the normal thing that happens in Western world is that they have centers where they can go to retest the cylinder. So according to the standard organization, what is actually required is when you check the last tested date on your cylinder, you see the last tested. There are some you will see the month and the year. The month can come in alphabet. You understand? You will see a number from A to D. A is the first quarter from January, Feb to March. Then B is from April to just like each quarter of the year. You understand? Then the year will follow suit. So for instance, if it is A 20, like A 98, that is to tell you that as of January to March of that 1998, your cylinder should be due for a retesting. That was the last time they tested. So it is advisable that from that 1998, according to the standard organization, add 15 years to it. Because a cylinder should be used for maximum of 15 years, then it should be taken for a recheck. But unfortunately, in our country, we don't have centers where people can go and check the integrity of their cylinders. Do you understand? Our government need to come in with that by producing centers. Just imagine in the whole of this country, there is no anywhere people can. We have hospitals that people can go check their body, but cylinders, people produce cylinders, that are not approved by standard organization, entering the market. Are you getting it? So from that time, back to your question, you should be taking for a retest, whether you should continually use it or not. You understand? So that is it about the expiring date of a cylinder. It's not actually straightforward because of how I analyze the date of manufacturing and the time of the expiring date written on it. But the major thing here is going for a retesting of the cylinders. Very, very important.
Wow. How many of you already knew about something like this? This is information that I never even knew about, to be honest. Which means that I've just been careless because I never knew that this was a good way to check if your cylinder was leaking. So what will make a gas cylinder to leak? Is it because of usage?
No. So like if you say you just got this, right? It's possibly from the company. The valve was not well tight. They need to apply thread tape. Like when you take it to the gas plant now, what they should do, since there is gas inside, you understand? Of course, I can do that. They can remove the gas, then apply thread tape and tie it back with the vice. So that is majorly what I do, like if I have a situation like this.
Oh my goodness, I never believed that was just the best way you can detect leakage in gas cylinders. What is some other common thing that we ignore that could potentially lead to fire hazard?
Well, another way to detect gas leakage is through the smell. You understand? Normally gas doesn't smell on its natural state, the way it's produced.
But I do perceive gas smell.
No, that is an odorant added.
Oh, that's an odorant.
Yes.
Oh.
That's an odorant added so that it can create awareness that I'm coming out. We call it ethyl mercaptan. That has been added to the gas to make it smell.
I'm just hearing about this for the first time. So gas is odorless in its natural
natural state.
Natural state.
It doesn't smell.
But humans were so smart, they had to add Add what? What's that thing called?
Odorant.
An odorant.
We call it ethyl mercaptan.
So once you are able to perceive that, you know that that is an indication that there's
It's
a gas
smelling.
leakage.
So you need to
gas is
be
smelling.
aware to check where it is leaking. You make sure you detect. You make sure you switch it off from either your regulator or if it is your cam cylinder. You open everywhere for ventilation. You understand? To make sure you know where it is coming from. Not lightening anything, not igniting anything. Very important.
I hope you guys are hearing. Sometimes you'll be perceiving gas at home, but you tell yourself, my gas is switched off now. It's properly locked. Why am I still perceiving it? There's a very high chance that your gas might be leaking. And to be honest, a lot of people, their mind don't even go there.
At all.
Some people, when they think of gas leakage, they don't really know that your gas can be off and still be leaking. Am I right?
Yes, it can. It can.
So I hope that this video gives you the clarity you need to keep yourself safe. Because we've seen videos on social media. As small as this cylinder is, it has brought down properties. Properties worth millions and billions of naira. It has caused the loss of lives. So fire safety is something that Nigerian government should be putting into so much funding for sensitization. So what are some other common things that we take for granted that could potentially lead to fire hazard?
Well, the thing is that a lot of people there are unsafe acts. People act unsafely in handling gas. Like just on Saturday, that just passed, a customer of mine nearly could have had a fire explosion. You understand? And what was a mistake? When she called me, I have to go down to see the event, to see what really happened. Because I always teach these things on social media. So she called me and was like, Linus, I could have been dead by now. What happened? Our gas caught fire. Just this Saturday.
And she didn't know what to do.
Yes. Now, it was her mistake. She had this charcoal fire in the kitchen. Do you understand? Then she went to refill her gas, but the charcoal was not that burning. It was just almost dying off. So on coming back, she never knew there's still fire left in that charcoal. So she was trying to tie a regulator on her cylinder.
And when you're tying it, some gas will escape.
Thank you very much. Gas will be coming out. So in the process of trying to tie that, the next thing she could see is fire on her hair.
Jesus.
This is just what happened. I went to her side to actually make video with her, but she's not the social media type. She was like, no. And she was being sincere. It caught up with her in her hand. You understand? But she sent me that video of that the fire that caught up her hair and the rest. So fire everywhere on the cylinder. She have to start calling on neighbors to help her. You understand? Come and help me. What they were just
burnt her.
Yes, her hair and her hand.
Chai.
So she started calling neighbors come help. They were switching it off with sand, with water, omo, and all of that. I getting it back, and that is why we need to have a fire extinguisher every home. We need fire extinguishers every home, but this is something we neglect. Do you understand? So that charcoal fire was there with her, and gas was still there. And there are a lot of also unsafe acts that people neglect. Before
you talk about it, what you mentioned is there was a fire outbreak, and then neighbors that actually came to help with the mind to help. What they did was they started packing sand to quench fire. The from
fire
gas.
was much.
It was much. So they were pouring water on it, pouring sand on it. Because that's the most common way people think they can use to put out fire. But you see, gas fire is entirely different.
It's different.
And that is why he's going to be showing us the practical way to put off a fire from gas, just in case it happens to you. So let's watch this video now. Bringing a phone close to the gas, is it bad?
It's not too safe to bring the stuff closer. So I'm just going to practicalize something here. You can be cooking and with a cam cylinder and already finish everything, and the burner will refuse to switch off. Do you understand? Now let me light this. I just hope the fire will come out. Now this is fire on it already. Now imagine you just finished cooking and this thing is not switching off. So what will you do? There are a lot of people that are falling into this confusion, and you know, they just ran out of the house. They're trying to switch it off from the
Some people pour water on it.
Some people, but it's not that safe because it can just decide to even. So the simple thing to do here is you just have a towel, just soak it in water.
Any kind of water?
Yes, any kind of water at all. You have a towel like this, just fold it with confidence. As you can see, it's a switched off.
But the gas is
still coming out. Then you can now lose this gradually.
Oh, so the gas will still be coming out, but then you have to lose the burner.
Burner, yes. You understand? So if you lose the burner, it will automatically stop.
Wow. So many people have been in situations like this. They'll start pouring water on it. Some will even start using something to try to blow out the fire.
They do it out of fear, and it can also lead to another thing.
I mean, that's the most common way people know how to put out fire, but they don't know that it does not apply to gas.
It doesn't.
So what you need to do is to soak towel in water, any kind of water, then use it to wrap around the fire and it will quench really tight. Don't be scared. You have to be brave about it if you want to protect your life and property. Then the next thing is to remove the burner. Mr. What's your name again? Linus. We have to go over there and sit. Let's have an interesting discussion about fire safety in Nigeria. This is really important, okay? I believe we've covered the practical aspects. Okay, all right, thank you. Let's go, guys.
Well, the method you just watched is not used for every fire, maybe
outbreak that comes from gas.
The summary is you need a fire extinguisher.
That's the safest thing.
That's the safest thing.
Fire extinguisher.
You need a fire extinguisher. Apart from taking a precautionary measure, you need fire extinguisher. If you can have properties worth millions and you have gas that if it explodes, it's you know, it can affect lives. I don't think, you know, it will cost you anything to get a fire extinguisher.
How much is a fire extinguisher in Nigeria?
Fire extinguisher should not be called. Depend on the kg. They have different sizes.
Okay, just the average price.
Yes, average price 18,000 to 20,000.
18,000 to 20,000 naira.
And funny enough, if you get it, you can't be refilling it like normal gas.
Gas, you only refill when you use it.
6 months. Yes, when you use it.
And that's the only solution for fire outbreak, a fire extinguisher. Yet a lot of people don't have it. And to be honest, I don't even have fire extinguisher in my house. And you know why? It is because there has not been enough sensitization and orientation about fire safety.
I think it will be a wise
when we
decision.
are buying our properties, we buy chairs, TV, all of those things, but we never ever consider fire extinguisher. If not that, Federal Road Safety is always asking us to have it in our cars. Maybe it will even be my car right now. This section right now is valuable, and I'm going to go get a fire extinguisher. And I really hope those of you watching right now, you also put considerations into getting a fire extinguisher, because if something bad happens to you and you're sitting in your hospital bed and the doctor is telling you it's a 50-50, God forbid, it is not your portion, just because you did not have a fire extinguisher at home to save yourself, to save your loved ones, and to save your properties. So, what other common mistakes do Nigerians make when it comes to fire safety? The reason I'm saying Nigerians make is because there's not enough sensitization about gas safety. So because of that, a lot of people just do it their own way, the way their parents taught them. They believe their parents know everything, so they believe that is enough. And there are not institutions or establishments where you can take your gas cylinder to go check if it's safe for you to continue using. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Nothing like that. So a lot of people just passing information. They don't even know it.
Our government need to come in with that.
Okay.
Our government need to really come up with centers where you can go to check your cylinders. Imagine, I don't know, have you ever thought of anywhere people take to get their cylinders to check the integrity?
I don't know anywhere.
You know, our viewers are watching. If there is any, I think maybe on the comment section.
They should see it in the comment section.
So, our government need to come in. It's a big investment actually. There are Western world that have centers where after some years of using your cylinder, you go, you check the integrity of the cylinder.
You pay money to do that.
Yeah, you know.
That's why I call it an investment now.
Investment, yes. you go check, because your safety matters.
Yes.
You go check the integrity of your cylinder and they will pressure test it.
Mm.
That's what we call pressure testing of the cylinder, to check whether it can hold on some pressure, not to explode. It can be hydraulic testing. It can be on the normal water testing, which is hydraulic testing.
Yeah.
So there are centers that have it. So imagine in the whole of this country, companies will just produce cylinders, take it out, and that is all. People keep using it for years and not knowing how is this cylinder, how is it going. In fact, I remember a man came to refill gas and he told me he has been using his gas since 1985. I was not born then.
He's sitting on a time bomb.
I getting it. He has been using this since then. And he was sure of the cylinder. He was like, this cylinder
very
is
confident.
Very confident. Now, the normal thing is that should be sent out. Go check it out. Can I continue using it? Because the disaster that might follow it, if anything happens, it's not something you can think of.
It's something that could potentially end your life. And again, parents, please, you have to take it upon yourself to educate your children, your family about fire safety. If possible, sit down with them and watch this video. If you buy a fire extinguisher, teach them how to use it. A lot of parents are so strict that if they buy things, they would not want their children to even touch it. They feel like they are the only ones that are in position to use it. I don't know if those kinds of parents even think far. You have to educate your children about fire safety, no matter how young they are. Just like having a swimming pool and then you have a very young child, and yet you can't put protection for your swimming pool.
Another thing again,
teach them how to
come
swim.
in is to teach them some emergency response.
Very important.
I getting it. Nobody's praying for any disaster, but it's just like in case of this thing will happen, this is the step to take. Are you getting it? In case you are seeing fire, because a lot of fire incidents that happen, a lot of people, the real story of it, people never live to tell it. The people that gas explosion took their life because nobody really knew what happened. And again, please, it's not just your children. A lot of Nigerians have housemates that they pick from the village.
Yeah.
You understand? They need to also educate them
about fire
safety. I have fire safety, about the ignition. I know when they just come, they'll start teaching them, but they need to educate them more. Properly. How
to use fire extinguisher.
How to detect leakages.
Yeah.
If they smell gas, what they should do. Are you getting it back?
First response.
Regularly teach them. Are you getting it back? And regularly inspect your gas equipment in the house. You understand? It's very, very important. It's very important. And again, a lot of people do manage gas equipment. I'm saying this out of experience. You see some people come with some gas equipment and you tell them this enough. They'll say they have been using it.
You tell them that this thing is not good
dangerous,
anymore.
So I get in it. They will say they will change it and all that. A lot of people they neglect that aspect. Gas things should not be something you keep managing in the house. Do you understand?
So those of you watching this video right now and you do not really trust that your parents are learned enough to understand how to manage fire safety. Some of you know where you are coming from. Somehow God lifted you. You've become successful and then you've built a house for your parents. You've bought gas. You've bought every beautiful thing for them to enjoy life instead of using firewood. And now they are at the point where they don't even know what to do if fire hazard should start. They don't know what to do. So this is a call for you to go back home and educate your parents. Get them a fire extinguisher. While it is important to enjoy convenience, we have to take education very seriously. This video is for everybody, because in as much as you say, oh, I'm learning, if fire something is something that can happen to your neighbor and could potentially affect you too, right? So it should be our social responsibility to make sure that we share this video to as many people as possible, and we also educate people as many as possible. Share it to groups. Pastors, use the opportunity to educate. The reason I'm calling pastors is because of congregation.
You have a lot of people.
When people gather, it's always an avenue to teach them about important things. It is not just sharing the word of God, right?
Yeah.
Teach them about safety.
Things that will keep
things that will keep them safe. Do you understand? Because if something bad happens, they'll still call your phone and say, Pastor, Daddy, something bad has happened. Sure. So fire safety is very important, my friends. Very, very important. Mr. Linus, You're a very honorable person. You traveled all the way from Jos. When we sent you an invitation, you are coming to Abuja to come educate our viewers about gas safety. That's really interesting. I really appreciate that. God bless you so much.
My pleasure.
Is there any other thing you like to talk about? Something that maybe does not really fall under this topic? Anything that has to do with fire safety? Anything at all? Okay, now let me just ask another thing.
Okay.
Is there anything you think that the fire service department of Nigeria should be doing that they are not doing right now? As somebody like you who has been in the industry of gas safety for more than 8 years now, tell us, please.
Well, I think they are trying, because if you are talking about checking on fire extinguishers of all gas plants, they do. But I think they need to work more on that, on checking the fire extinguishers in people that sell gas, because the fire explosion can also happen in all those people that sell gas, you understand, like retailers, you understand, and maybe some of them don't even have, you understand. So they need to work more on making sure that the safety acts and all the safety equipments are there, like the fire extinguishers.
Okay.
You understand, and to create more awareness to Nigerians and make all these things available, because that is their department.
If Nigerians should see it on Insta blog that federal government have released 10 billion for sensitization about fire safety, check the comment section.
They will say they don't steal money.
They will not steal money. But these things are important.
They are
anyways.
important. They are very
Another
important.
thing I think is, don't you think the fire service department should take it upon themselves to charge Nigerian landlords with the obligation that if a tenant is going to move into this apartment, there should be fire extinguisher?
I think it's a very
In fact,
good
they should
solution.
even do it in a way that if they come to your house and they don't see fire extinguisher, they should fine you. If I was president, oh my goodness, the kind of laws what I go bring for Nigeria.
Imagine the whole building, no one fire
No
extinguisher.
fire extinguisher.
Now, fire might not just even happen in the compound, but what of your neighbor?
What of your neighbor?
Are you getting it?
We've all seen those videos now where the two start from here before you need to begin to spread.
To escalate, and nobody to to try to bring a fire extinguisher to help them.
But at that point, you don't even need fire extinguisher. What you need now is to call the fire service. But now, are they close by?
That's a problem, and there's a level where fire explosion will happen, that before they will come, what has happened has happened.
The damage has been done already.
You understand? But do you know that as small as that fire is, with little fire extinguisher,
everything is settled.
Everything will settle. So imagine that my customer, if she had a fire extinguisher, she will not even think first to call neighbors and all of that, because then the fire was not that much. The only thing is just because that is strictly made for fire attack and the rest.
I've seen a video on social media where there was just a tiny fire on frying pan, and this lady was so scared that she started pouring water on it, but the fire was from a gas or something, and then she threw it. I don't know how it happened. The curtain in the kitchen caught fire. Before you know, the whole house burnt.
Oh my goodness.
Fire that was so small. I think she was so afraid that she could, when you are scared, when you are nervous, you're not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
So it's only when the damage has been done, you now sit back and say, if I had known I would have just done this.
I think it just reminded me of something. Of course, also to create awareness. Boldness matters.
Very important.
Because your boldness can solve a lot of lives. I remember I went to fix a guy's gas, you understand, by a young guy like me. And I just finished fixing it. He told me. So I tried to check it. Where is it coming from? Where is the problem? You need to check where the problem is coming from. So on switching on the fire, there was fire already on close to the cylinder. And this guy is just about running. And the fire was not that much.
It was not that much.
I get it. Now there's something with gas fire. When it's coming, right? Is the gas that will be pouring the fire gradually.
Yeah.
It will not explode the cylinder. So switching off from the source of the gas matters.
Yeah, a lot of people are not bold because they've all seen those videos on social media. The next thing you see fire, the next thing you see explosion.
That's
so whenever people see fire, their inclination is to run.
So the guy was trying to run, and I was like, "Guy, where did they go?" He said, "I know they see fire." I said, "What you go do now? To just go see the regulator, go switch her off." And that is why another important thing is it's good to have a table burner. Gas, I know a lot of Nigerians can't afford it. They are not living in their homes, except a few rich ones that are in their apartments. They are in fenced house and all of that. It's advisable you connect your gas outside. That is one of the precautionary measures. You connect a hose because the major source of the gas is outside. Then you connect it down. So in case of any fire, even from the kitchen, when you go out there to switch it off, automatically it will stop. It is just that little gas that poured that fire that might just be an issue. But just imagine the cylinder is in the room, and maybe you have refilled it to 12.5. Before that 12.5 will finish, the disaster it might cause might not be funny. You understand? So being bold in handling gas issue is very, very important.
Very important. You have to be bold. You need to teach your children courage. Those of you guys that are newly married, you have to teach your spouse, your wife, your girlfriend courage. These things are very important because fire is something that it can happen anytime, right? So we have to be prepared for it. So thank you so much, Mr. Linus, for having this section with us. God bless you.
God bless you.
I'll be considering getting a fire extinguisher. It's very important. I'll find somewhere to keep it in the kitchen, and then I'll educate my household about it, what people should do. You know, these things are very important. I don't even know how to use a fire extinguisher, but then I'll watch YouTube and I'll learn.
Yeah, I've taught that even on my platform.
You've taught that on your platform?
Yes, practically.
So what's the name of your platform? Let people go there.
Silinus Gas Ventures.
Silinus Gas Ventures. So
yes.
If you're interested to learn more about fire safety, just search it on social media and you see his platform. You follow him, his videos are there. You watch and you learn, get educated. And please, Nigerians, support people like this. Okay, support their business, support everything, because it is people like this that are truly creating value. But unfortunately, majority of us have misplaced priority, and somehow we are confident that our children will grow up to become great in life. How can those things happen when we are not even supporting the great ones that are existing right now? God is just looking at some of you and he's shaking his head. God bless you, Mr. Linus. I'm saying this because I know that a lot of Nigerians that do great things are not really supported. You know, not majority of them, right? So thank you very much for taking it as your responsibility to contribute value to your society.
Thank you, my pleasure.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. Now go.
So if there's something you would like to know, indicate it in the comment section. It is possible for us to maybe still have Mr. Linus on our show again to educate people. Do you understand? And fire department of Nigeria, please, you guys should put in more work.
And our government, please, I'm stressing more on that.
Government,
our government making out centers for checking cylinders. We have over 200
Is it
million
the government
people.
or is it fire department?
No, the government in this regard, because it's a big investment. It's a big thing. You know, that in the whole nation, no any center to go check for cylinders integrity. I've been preaching on that on my platform. Like, imagine. In fact, I made several videos and nobody even commented. Like, did you know any place in this country that people can go to check their cylinders where it can be pressure tested? Are you getting it? To tell you, yes, you can continuously use it, or this thing is due. There are cylinders that already have rusted off. They are not good again to use. Some are already leaking from the bottom. Some have really, corroded out. I get it. So the government here creating awareness,
these things are very important.
Very important.
A lot of people might not know why we keep telling people share this video. I'm sure most of you have seen those videos where a trailer will fall on the road and fuel is leaking. Some people will be carrying buckets to go and pack fuel. That's to tell you that some people are not just educated enough. And it is our social responsibility to be our brother's keeper. Let's educate everyone. Mr. Linus.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for coming around.
My
God
pleasure.
bless you. Please go search us on Spotify, the Locudo Experience. We just signed up on Spotify. I will be uploading our audio, the audio versions of our videos for those of you that will be too busy to watch on YouTube. You're driving to work, you're driving a long trip. You could entertain yourself with our videos. Of course, our videos are for educational purpose, but entertaining yourself is just keeping yourself busy while you're focused on what is important. Thank you so much, and please keep supporting the platform in any way you can. This will help us to keep the stories we share alive. God bless you so much. Let's say bye to our viewers. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.